When I was 16 years old, my guitar teacher told me that I had to choose between living a life of passion and having a successful relationship. A couple days ago when I was browsing Facebook, one of the guys that I follow on there posted this thing and he said, "Having dreams gets in the way of having a relationship." When I read that, it took me back to when I was 16 years old and when my guitar teacher told me the same exact thing. And it just reminded me of all these bad and unhealthy decisions that I made in my life as well as my relationships, and how much it affected me personally, until I met Matt and realized that yes, you can have both a successful relationship and still chase your dreams. Matt and I have been together for 8 years, and within that 8 years, 5 years of it has been spent chasing our dreams, both of us. If you ask any of our friends, most of them will describe us as two people who pretty much march to the beat of our own drums. I'm not going to say that it's been easy, but I will say that having somebody there who gets me and understands the crazy ideas and just these crazy dreams that I'm trying to achieve is priceless. And it's unfortunate because there's so many people out there like me who torment themselves trying to figure out what they want out of life. Do they want a good relationship or do they want to follow their dreams? Thinking they have to choose between one or the other. I was listening to a Jack Canfield book yesterday on Audible called The Success Principles, and he was talking about how when we're kids, we don't have any limitations. I mean, when we want something as kids, like we go out and get it, right? Like if we want to eat dirt, we'll just eat dirt. When we want to touch this thing, even though it's flaming hot, like we'll just reach out our hand and try to grab it. Then along the way, people come and try to stop us from doing things. For instance, don't eat dirt because it's got germs on it, or don't touch that because you're gonna burn your hand off, or don't sing because you are super tone deaf, or don't get an art degree because it doesn't pay well. We go from these kids who have absolutely no limitations in our mind in what we can achieve or what we want to achieve, to believing in all these limitations that people around us set for ourselves. All these things obviously come from a place of love. Like obviously you don't want your kid to touch a hot plate because he is gonna get burned, or like the germs, like you don't want your kid going out and eating dirt. But people who stop us singing because we can't sing, or people who tell us not to go get an art degree because that's not gonna make any money, like that also comes from a place of love. They don't want to see you get hurt, so they base their experiences off of things that have happened to them and what they've learned in their lives, and they pass on the knowledge to you. Obviously, I'm comparing people eating dirt to becoming a singer, but at the end of the day, all this advice, all these things that people come and tell us not to do, those are all part of the limitations. That was a very profound section for me in the Jack Canfield Success Principle book, because it made me realize how much I've limited myself based off of what advice that I received from people around me. Obviously, like, don't eat dirt and don't touch the stoves. Those are pretty legitimate advices. But when I was a kid, I remember I was driving in the car with my uncle and I was singing at the top of my lungs, and my uncle turned around to me and he was like, "Stop singing. You're terrible at singing. You're never gonna be a singer." And you know, from his perspective, he might have just been having a bad day, and maybe he had a headache or something and he just didn't want to hear, loud, obnoxious singing. But that affected me. To this day, it actually still does. I get really nervous when I sing in front of people because it takes me back to that point in time when my uncle just was like, "Don't sing, you're so tone deaf." And it shocks me. And I think about that moment with my guitar teacher and that advice of you either have to love or you have to follow your dreams, but you can't have both, and how much that affected me for a good few years in such an unhealthy way. And as a kid, because we don't know anything about the world, or we don't know how to process the world, we rely on people around us to teach us how to live. That's why people become doctors when they want to be filmmakers, or that's why people end up in a 9-to-5 job they hate when they actually want to be traveling the world and going to different cultures. And they can have both. They just don't know it. Like I didn't know it until I met Matt and realized that I could have my cake and eat it too. whatever the hell that means. that statement always made me confused, because don't you have to have your cake before you can eat it? It doesn't matter. The point is, it's possible. It's not easy, I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, it's super easy to have a relationship and dreams. Like, if you want your relationship to be successful, you do have to work on it, but also you have to do that for your dreams as well. But being able to chase your dreams with somebody who loves you, supports you, cares about your success, and being able to reciprocate that for somebody else and their journeys, like, it's so magical. You know, chasing dreams is hard enough already without feeling as if you have to do it alone. You have to remember, there's 7 billion people in this world. There's somebody out there who has the same mindset as you, who has the same dreams as you, who has the same goals as you. You just have to be open to their presence. That sounded really new agey. Just be open to their presence. You know, obviously, like with everything, I don't know what the future holds as far as my relationship with Matt goes. Like, Matt and I are on this journey together right now. Maybe we'll continue to be on this journey together for the rest of our lives, or maybe sometime in the future we'll both decide that we need to go on our journey separately. I don't know. I can't guarantee anything in life. I can't predict the future. But whatever happens, I'm not gonna stop believing that I can have my cake and eat it too. Because the only limitations that we feel are stopping us in life are the ones that we're putting on ourselves. And that rings true for relationships and following your dreams.